everyone, Michelle here, personal trainer and lifestyle coach. Today we are here to talk about our October 2021 theme of the month, influencing body recomposition. Now, whether you want to lose weight, gain muscle, maybe a little bit of both, tracking your nutrition is going to be one of the most important tools that we can use to influence our body recomposition. Now, generally speaking, losing weight or gaining weight is about calories in, calories out. But that is a big generalization. You can also think about it as if you wanted to lose weight, you want to increase your activity and decrease your caloric intake. However, it gets even a little bit more complicated. I'm sure you've heard the phrase that weight loss and gain is about 80% nutrition and 20% exercise, or that abs are made in the kitchen. Both of these are really great points to just emphasize how important our diet is in terms of influencing our body recomposition. To put this in perspective, if you were to walk on a Stairmaster for about an hour, you would lose about 400 calories. That is about the equivalent of eating a muffin. Doesn't seem like a really fair trade-off, right? When you can probably swallow a muffin in less than a minute. So when we really think about how we want to influence our body recomposition, we really want to think about trying to increase our muscle mass and probably also trying to clean up our diet. So this month, what we are going to do is we are going to track our food and we're going to use the app MyFitnessPal. Now, there are a lot of great apps out there, so you can pick a different one if you'd like, but they have a really extensive library, so that's typically what I suggest for my clients. So once we start to use MyFitnessPal, we're gonna get a better idea of not only what we've been eating and where we are right now, but also what we want our diet to look like in the future. Once we start to kind of play with it a little bit more, you can use your body as an experiment. Every person is different. There are a different amount of caloric demand. You're gonna have a different amount of exercise or activity. And these are the things that we wanna play with. But if we don't track, then we can't change. So being able to really break it down into what we're consuming is gonna give us a better idea of how to make those changes. The other great part about MyFitnessPal is it is an accountability tool, not only to yourself for you to write down everything that you're consuming, but you can also add friends and share your diary so that they can look at your diet as well, which just adds another layer of accountability. And it also helps us address our consistency. Are we eating similar things more often than not? Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be the same thing every single day. You'll see some bodybuilders and stuff like that that are a little bit more specific about their weight loss and gain, eat pretty similar foods because it's easier to track. But realistically speaking, are you gonna eat the same thing every day? Probably not. So this is a great way for us to get a general idea of what you're consuming, even if it changes on a day-to-day basis. So then what you can start to do is maybe make substitutions. Eat a similar type of food, but maybe what you would consider a healthier version of that. And start to make those small adjustments that are going to compound into great changes. So please let me know if you have any questions about how to use MyFitnessPal. There are a lot of great tutorials online. And really what we're going to do is take an assessment, take a check-in, and just see how we're doing. Especially right before the holidays when we all make a few exceptions more than we normally would. We want to make sure that we're trying to be as consistent as possible so that if, again, you are trying to lose weight or gain weight or whatever the case is, that we have more control over it and we have more influence over it because we have more information. Thanks so much, guys, and let me know if you need anything else.